All right, so you ready for this? We're diving deep into Tencent,
Oh, yeah.
this Chinese tech giant.
I mean, they're
Yeah.
more valuable than Facebook, MasterCard, and Samsung combined.
It's really unbelievable.
Yet so many people outside of China, I feel like, have no idea who they are.
Right.
It's kind of a paradox.
It is fascinating how they've managed to fly under the radar for so long while becoming this global powerhouse.
Yeah.
For this deep dive, we've got some excerpts from a video that explores their history and then some insights into how they actually operate within China.
Cool.
So by the end of this, you should have a really solid understanding of their strategy and their impact.
Okay, I'm already hooked.
Good.
So let's just get this straight. What exactly does Tencent do?
Well, they have their hands in a lot of things,
Okay.
but they're masters of discrete influence. They operate through this web of investments and partnerships.
Uh-huh.
So you probably interact with something that's connected to Tencent every single day and you don't even realize it.
Okay. Now that eye is a little creepy. Yeah, it's a little bit Big Brother-ish.
So give me an example. What kind of reach are we talking about here?
So let's start with their home turf, China.
Okay.
Tencent has achieved something really remarkable there.
Okay.
They created one app that essentially runs everyone's digital lives.
Wait, one app. Seriously.
Main app.
What could possibly be that powerful?
It's called WeChat, and it's unlike anything that we have here in the West.
Right.
Imagine combining the functionalities of Facebook, PayPal, WhatsApp, Netflix, Spotify, Uber, Tinder, Zoom, and Amazon all in one.
Ooh.
That's WeChat.
No way. That's like a digital Swiss Army knife or something.
That's a great way to put it.
It's like one of those multi-tools you take camping,
Exactly. And almost all of China's 1.4 billion population use it
Wow.
for an average of 4 hours every day.
4 hours. That's a lot.
It is.
No wonder people call it the operating system of China.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah. But how did they get here? Like, did Tencent always plan to build this everything app?
Not exactly. Their early strategy was more about adapting proven concepts from the West
Uh-huh.
and tailoring them to the Chinese market.
So more like, if you can't beat them, copy them.
Well, yeah, you could say that. I mean, their first big success was this instant messaging service called QQ,
Okay.
and it was heavily inspired by ICQ.
Oh, yeah, ICQ.
But they didn't just copy the code. They understood that Chinese users valued features like customizable profiles and virtual gifts.
Oh,
So
interesting.
they integrated those, and it just became this phenomenon.
Clever. So they took what worked and made it resonate with their users.
Exactly.
What else did they borrow from?
Well, remember those personalized avatars
Oh, yeah.
that were all the rage on that Korean website, sayclub.com? Well, Tencent took that idea and integrated it into QQ as QQ Show.
Uh-huh.
And it was another massive hit.
It's interesting because it sounds like they were spotting trends and understanding user preferences in a way that Western companies at the time weren't really doing in China.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
It was smart, but it still sounds pretty derivative.
Yeah.
When did they start doing their own thing?
I'd say their move into gaming is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
They cleverly integrated games directly into the QQ platform
Uh-huh.
and leveraged their massive user base.
Ah, so they were already starting to build that interconnected ecosystem that we see today with WeChat.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
all started way back then.
And here's where things get even more strategic.
Okay.
Remember China's Great Firewall and the rule that foreign companies need to partner with local businesses.
Yeah, that makes it pretty tough for outsiders to get in.
Well, Tencent used that to their advantage.
Yeah.
They secured exclusive licensing deals with foreign game developers who were desperate to enter the Chinese market.
So they weren't just replicating games, they were becoming the gatekeepers,
Right.
controlling access to this massive market. Talk about a power move.
It was brilliant, and it helped them become the biggest gaming company on the planet. But then the mobile internet revolution happened, and everything changed again.
Okay, I'm sensing another adapt or die moment here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What did Tencent do?
They knew they couldn't afford to ignore the mobile wave, so they did what they do best. They adapted.
Okay, but be more specific. Who did they copy this time?
So this time, it was WhatsApp.
Oh.
They created WeChat initially, a pretty straightforward messaging app.
Mm-hmm.
But here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Even within Tencent, competition was fierce.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Their CEO, Ponyma, actually set up multiple teams
Wow.
to work on competing mobile messaging apps at the same time.
So they were basically competing against themselves.
Yep. They call it the Shark Room,
Shark Room?
where only the strongest ideas survive.
Oh, wow.
Brutal, but it explains why they evolved so quickly.
I get the shark room analogy.
Yeah.
So how did WeChat go from a basic messaging app to, well, everything?
It was a combination of factors.
Okay.
They were constantly adding new features,
Uh-huh.
often inspired by their competitors.
Yeah.
Things like Moments, which is like their version of a social media feed.
Okay.
But they also had these unique, almost quirky features like Drift Bottle.
Drift bottle.
Yeah.
Okay, now I have to know, what is that?
Think message in a bottle, but digital.
Okay.
So you send a virtual message out into the WeChat verse,
Uh-huh.
and then another random user can just pick it up and decide to reply or throw it back for someone else to find.
That's kind of cool, actually.
It is kind of a neat feature.
Yeah.
But how did they go from social features to, like, the everything app?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Well, it all started with something seemingly small, digital red packets for Chinese New Year.
Okay.
People could send money to each other digitally.
Oh, yeah.
It was a huge GE hit,
Uh,
and it was like a light bulb went off for Tencent.
yeah.
They realized mobile payments were the future,
Right.
and they had the perfect platform to make it happen.
That's how WeChat Pay was born.
Bingo.
So smart.
They capitalized on WeChat's massive user base
Uh-huh.
to create this seamless mobile payment system.
Yeah.
And once they had that in place, it was like a domino effect.
Okay.
They started integrating more and more services into WeChat.
So tell me about these mini programs. They sound like a game changer.
Yeah, mini programs are like tiny apps
Okay.
that run within WeChat.
Uh-huh.
Instead of downloading separate apps for everything,
Right.
you can access restaurants, hotels, shopping, ride-sharing, all within WeChat through these mini programs.
So it's like they created this walled garden where they control everything.
In a sense, yes.
Wow.
It's brilliant from a business standpoint.
Yeah.
Users can seamlessly transition between services
Okay.
without ever leaving WeChat,
Uh-huh.
so it becomes this indispensable part of their lives.
It makes you think about the trade-offs, though.
Yeah.
All that convenience, but at what cost?
Yeah.
You know?
That brings us to, I think, another layer of the Tencent story.
Okay.
Their relationship with the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hmm.
I mean, on the one hand, they've obviously benefited from China's internet landscape.
Oh, absolutely.
No antitrust issues, easy access to data, a massive user base, all within the Great Firewall.
True.
But that support, I imagine, comes with some strings attached.
It does. Tencent has to align with the CCP's values and agenda.
Yeah.
I mean, remember that gamer who got banned from Blizzard for supporting the Hong Kong pro-democracy movement?
Oh, yeah. That was a wake-up call for a lot of people.
You really was.
It showed how far Tencent's influence extends.
Yeah, it's a delicate dance for Tencent.
Ah.
They have CCP members within their ranks,
Really?
even on the executive board,
Wow.
who can exert pressure to make sure that they're towing the party line.
So it's not just about censorship.
Right.
It's about actively promoting the CCP's worldview.
That's one interpretation, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen them pressured to modify games to adhere to Communist Party values.
Communist Party values in video games, what does that even look like?
We'll think about things like limiting playtime for kids to 90 minutes a day,
Oh, wow.
enforced through facial recognition.
Really?
That's a pretty potent example of how the CCP's agenda can influence the way things are done in China's tech world.
Yeah, that's a pretty stark reminder that even in the digital realm, there are limits to freedom in China.
Yeah.
But it makes you wonder, if Tencent is this powerful in China, why haven't they had the same success globally?
That's the million-dollar question.
I mean, I can take a guess. Concerns about privacy and censorship, right?
You nailed it.
Yeah.
The everything app model, while convenient,
Oh,
raises a lot of concerns about data security and how that data might be used,
yeah.
especially by governments.
It's a tough sell outside of China, where people are already wary of big tech and data collection.
Sure, sure.
But I'm curious about their global ambitions beyond WeChat.
Okay.
They've made some pretty big investments, right?
Oh, yeah. They're definitely not content with just China. They've been on a buying spree, acquiring stakes in companies like Reddit, Tesla, Spotify, Snapchat, even Universal Music.
Wow, that's quite a portfolio.
It is.
They're everywhere.
And they're killing it in the gaming world.
Yeah.
They own Riot Games, the creators of League of Legends.
Mm-hmm.
They have a huge stake in Epic Games, the company behind Fortnite,
Right.
plus investments in Ubisoft, Activision Blizzard, the list goes on and on.
So even if WeChat never becomes a global thing, their influence is already being felt through their gaming empire and these investments.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about their financial firepower.
Yeah,
WeChat Pay processes over 1 billion transactions per day.
1 billion.
That's more than Visa and MasterCard combined.
That's mind-boggling.
It is.
It sounds like they're strategically positioning themselves to be major players on the global stage, even if they're doing it under the radar.
Exactly, and it begs the question, what happens when a company with such close ties to the CCP
Right.
starts wielding that kind of influence globally? It's a question that's going to keep a lot of people up at night.
No kidding. But it's not all smooth sailing for
No.
Tencent, even in China, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember reading something about some friction between them and the CCP.
That's right. While the CCP has generally seen Tencent as a national champion,
Uh-huh.
things haven't always been rosy.
Okay.
In recent years, there's been a shift in the dynamics with the CCP taking a closer look at the power these tech giants wield.
So the honeymoon is over?
You could say that.
Yeah.
The CCP is no longer content with letting these companies operate unchecked.
Right.
They've implemented new antitrust rules,
Uh-huh.
data privacy regulations, and even cracked down on online gaming,
Wow.
all of which have had a direct impact on Tencent.
Wow, that's a big shift.
Yep.
How has Tencent reacted to these changes? Well, how they react? I mean, I imagine they're not super thrilled about this, you know?
Publicly, they've been supportive,
Okay.
emphasizing their commitment to social responsibility,
Yeah.
aligning themselves with the CCP's vision for the internet, all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. But behind closed doors, I bet it's a different story.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
They're walking this tightrope, trying to appease the government while also protecting their own interests.
Yeah, absolutely. And the stakes are incredibly high.
Right.
They've seen what can happen if you push back too hard. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
remember Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba?
Oh, yeah. What happened to that guy? He, disappeared for a while, right?
Yeah, after he criticized the Chinese financial system, he basically went off the grid for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a clear message that no one, not even the biggest tech mogul, is above the CCP.
Yeah.
Tencent knows they have to be careful.
So what does the future hold for Tencent? I mean, are they going to be forced to become just another arm of the CCP, or can they maintain some level of independence?
It's really tough to say. It feels like they're at a crossroads,
Yeah.
trying to expand globally,
Uh-huh.
but these close ties to the CCP are raising eyebrows, especially in the West, where concerns about data privacy and censorship are growing.
Yeah. It's a tough balance. They want to be this global player, but their roots are firmly planted in China,
Exactly.
which has very different values when it comes to the internet and freedom of information.
Yeah, and it's not just about navigating different cultural norms.
Right.
Think about the geopolitical implications as Tencent gains more global influence.
Yeah.
That relationship with the CCP is going to be scrutinized even more closely.
It's fascinating, this whole dilemma.
It is.
I mean, they've achieved incredible success, but their future hinges on navigating this complex relationship with the Chinese government.
It really makes you wonder, is it even possible for a company like Tencent to become a truly global leader if they're constantly under pressure to comply with the CCP's agenda?
Yeah, I mean, that's a question that goes beyond Tencent.
Right.
It gets at the heart of this global tug-of-war between technological innovation and political control.
And it raises a question, I think, for all of us as individuals.
Yeah.
How comfortable are we with companies that have these close ties to governments?
Especially governments with a track record of surveillance and censorship.
Exactly. That's something to think about.
Yeah, it's a question we're all going to have to grapple with as these tech giants continue to grow and exert more and more influence over our lives.
Tencent's story is a powerful reminder that the decisions made in boardrooms and government offices,
Yeah.
often far from public view, can have a profound impact on our digital lives
Right.
and the future of the internet as we know it.
It's been a wild ride exploring the world of Tencent.
It has.
From humble beginnings as a copycat startup to this global powerhouse wrestling with these complex ethical and political challenges, their journey has been nothing short of remarkable.
And it's far from over.
Right.
The choices they make in the coming years will not only shape their own destiny, but could have this ripple effect across the entire tech landscape.
So keep an eye on Tencent.
Yeah.
Their story is a window into the future of technology power and the choices we all face in an increasingly interconnected world. And that's a wrap on our deep dive into the world of Tencent.